And now back to your regular programming.
If you speak better to yourself.
You showed up for probably the dumbest conversation we've ever had on this show.
Let's have that smile again.
Tell me how that happens. Physically should not happen.
Relax.
If you say it
Give me as well.
3 times a day, God will line it up.
He's just an absolute hack, and he gets his ass kicked by the teammates every week. It's just terrible.
Welcome back to Hack City. Joe DeLeone, Sean Anderson, 2 former college football players from the University of Rhode Island. And today we are giving our Big Ten 2024 betting preview, our picks on who we think one is going to win the conference, but also some bets that you could place now for your futures that maybe you can make a little bit of money. All that coming up, as well as thoughts on the college football 25 video game. We're almost a month away from that coming out. We got a gameplay breakdown. We got all the access to how things are going to look this past Friday. We're going to react to what we were able to see. All that coming up on today's show. Before we get to that, Sean, can you just share with our listeners a quick word from our friends over at BetOnline?
I'd love to, Joe. My new betting bit of the last week has been tracking my friends and seeing what teams that they like outside of, the major sports. I have a Celtics buddy. I hate that the Celtics are moving on, but apparently he had a big soccer game that he had to watch this weekend between Real Madrid and Borussia Dortmund. He said, Real Madrid's my team. This is my team. I said, okay, if this is your team, let's see. Because everyone likes trashing the college football guys when we give out picks and we're positive at the end of the year and then saying, oh, we don't know ball, we don't know betting. So I'm flipping it back on them. I'm taking their crappy soccer picks, their crappy basketball picks, and their crappy hockey picks.
Hocker picks.
And then
Hocker picks.
Yeah. that one, I'm hoping that doesn't stick. I'm taking all those picks. I'm betting on them. So if I lose, I can trash them. And if I win a little bit of money. Thank you, Real Madrid, for winning me $21 over the weekend. Joe, do you know where I did it at?
BetOnline.
Yeah, BetOnline is the number one source for it's the number one source for just tracking the most boring Celtics team through the slog of a championship run against a fun Dallas Mavericks team. I will be placing, I guess, my wagers on the Mavericks moving forward. Head to the website today, BetOnline, to get in on the action. Don't forget to use promo code BLEAV, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here. If Sean wins one bet over the weekend, it's going to be a positive early week BetOnline read. If I lose, then it's going to be a tough one. Glad I won one. Needed it. God, I've been cold.
Yeah. Always like it when Sean has energy when he does the read. All right. As I said, folks, today we've already done 2 conferences. Today we're going to continue on with our betting preview for who we think you should place bets down on this offseason for the futures for the conference. The Big Ten is going to be very, very intriguing to cover this year because of the new faces that join the conference. We're talking about USC, UCLA, Washington, Oregon. It is going to be a very contentious battle to win the Big Ten in 2024. They're coming off of a year where Michigan won the national title, but Jim Harbaugh moves on to the NFL and Sharon Moore takes over. Meanwhile, during the offseason, Ohio State threw tons of money at building their roster, and now they are geared up and ready to win a national championship. Now, with all that in mind, a reminder for everyone when we're doing this, just because we're picking a team and we're giving our betting picks here does not mean that we don't think another team is going to win the conference. With that in mind, my first pick and my best pick, I think Ohio State does win the conference. But if I was placing one that had better odds, I'm putting my money on Oregon at plus 200 for the reason that they're placed at number 2. Plus 200 is pretty good odds. Oregon has a very close roster to Ohio State. They face off with one another, and I think that if Oregon wins this matchup, it is going to be a winnable path for them to win the conference from there. They are built front to back really, really tightly like an SEC team. Dan Lanning has put this team in a position to succeed, and I don't see many opportunities for them in 2024 for them to falter. So they beat Ohio State. They would go on to win the Big Ten, and you would make some money with that pick in mind.
Well, look, I understand that you're trying to give the value here, Joe, but if I wanted to win some money, I would pick Ohio State to win this conference, which I will be doing. It will be an Ohio State year for me. Thank you to Tom Hannafin for joining the program last week. A fantastic guest. I'm not going with Penn State, though, unfortunately. Again, if you want to, check out our interview with Tom Hannafin. He was fantastic. But Penn State's not winning it. I don't think Oregon wins the Big Ten. I don't think Michigan goes to back-to-back. I think Ohio State finally, now that the big bad boogeyman in Ann Arbor is gone, they could finally win again. And Ryan Day could be like, oh, I told you we had a good team. And then Connor Stallions. All right, cool. We got you. I don't root for the hysterics and drama from that man, but he can coach a football team pretty well. And I think Ohio State, if we're taking a June on paper bet right now for futures, it's the smartest play for me. It is. It plus 145, and they are clearly the best team that did the best in the transfer portal over the offseason. Come on.
Wait. Okay, so this is where I think that the debate now comes into play. And to elaborate more on what I am saying here and why I like Oregon is that I don't think there is really any separation between these two teams. Like, I think that it's a very, very close race between which team is better. So if they're close, why wouldn't I bet on the team that has the better odds? Why wouldn't I take the opportunity to get those better odds? If we look at what both these teams did this offseason, Ohio State already had offensive weapons, and they brought in a transfer quarterback that is, Ohio State fans, a bit of a question mark because Avery Johnson did beat him out. We can't pretend that did not happen for Kansas State last year. Avery Johnson was the better player at the end of the season, and it was clear that he was going to start this upcoming season. That was why Will Howard left. Dillon Gabriel, I feel a little bit better going into that scheme, knowing that he is perfect for the way that they move the football. They've got a lot of really good receivers. They added Evan Stewart, and their defensive line is really freaking good. So I think that is, with how close they are, do you think that there's really that much separation?
I think that there is definitely some separation between the number one in the Big Ten for this season and the newcomer Oregon into this new conference. They're going to be playing such different football. And I think it could provide Oregon an advantage in just regular season wins over some of these Big Ten teams that they're playing because, hey, they're new. We don't have a ton of tape on them. We haven't felt them out yet. So there will be some shock factor. But Ohio State's been there. They have made it to the CFP. They do have somewhat of a resume that you can't ignore. And I like what they did. Who's going to stop that running game? Oregon's not stopping that. Oregon's not stopping Henderson and Judkins coming out of the back.
They have the defensive line to at least put up a fight against them.
I think Ohio State is the play. And I hate taking chalk. You know, I am not the chalk man by any means. They're the favorite. I hate picking the favorite. But for the Big Ten this year, nothing has felt more cut and dry to me than Ohio State. It's a rare feeling, so I have to ride with it.
And again, I'm in your boat here. For my non-betting pick, I am picking Ohio State. Like, I think that Ohio State does end up winning the conference. But again, if we're talking betting analysis here, if things come into play and we can get the better odds on another team that's not that far off, it's worth going that route. I would also add this in here. You're saying that they've been there before, they've won the conference. I would argue that they've been relatively unencumbered by difficult opponents that they've had to face throughout their stretches and times of playing in the Big Ten. They haven't had in the past a conference schedule that is as difficult as what they're going to be facing this upcoming year, where they do have to play Oregon, which is, I mean, it's not really that much harder now that
you know what, Joe, you know, I hate the cupcake schedules. I hate them, and I will criticize you. But for betting, it's good. It's real good for betting, brother. It's nice. Anybody that was taking Georgia last year with their bets and the futures to win the conference, that's a great bet to take. They had a cupcake schedule. This is when you should take advantage of the broken and flawed scheduling system and say, I can make some money off of it with these wimpy teams going against the Ohio State Buckeyes. Come on, Joe.
By the way, I was thinking about that today when I was picking which conference we should talk about. You mentioned Georgia. That's going to be a really weird show because, like, wait a second, let's pull up the Bet Online odds. They're plus 190. Wait, their odds is Ohio State has better odds to win their conference than Georgia does. Georgia might be the betting pick. What? All right, well, let's not get ahead of our.
We're on Big Ten here. Do you have a more value? We'll just call this a hail your backup Big Ten play.
Who's driving the car here? Stop grabbing the wheel. As we always do on this, Hey, just because I took a, just
I'll
because
pick
I
you
turned
apart.
off
I
on a
will-
different
I-
road,
I-
just
I
put
will
the pliers
pick
down.
you
Put the
apart.
pliers down. Those of us listening on audio are so confused by that. That's probably the most no
Yeah,
context.
I fiddle
hack
with my
city
hands
quote
during
of all time.
shows. I have to have something to I have to.
Put the pliers. We're gonna get you some blocks in the new apartment. Is it something that's
No,
gonna help you? Some toy cars.
I don't want any fit. I'm looking at 3 right here. Also, great joke, Joe.
I know. I said that, and I'm thinking to myself, he has cars.
No,
on his
all
desk.
my fidget tools are way different. They're not a cute cube. It's a grip strength machine, and it's a little magnet on a golf divot repair. That's what I got, and now I have added some pliers into the mix.
As we've done this before in the past, for the past previous weeks, we always like to give a Hail Mary pick that has some crazy odds. The Big Ten's not like the other conferences that we've done. The ACC and the Big 12, there was like a plausibility for, hey, maybe somebody could sneak their way in here and pull something off. There is not anybody on the board that I look at that gets me particularly excited. But if I was to take somebody, I would take Wisconsin at plus 8,000. I think that Luke Fickell is a really, really good head coach. I really think that if there is somebody to produce a sneaky good team that just really builds and builds and builds throughout the season and puts together just a strong resume, is hard-nosed and physical defensively, runs the ball well like they did at Cincinnati, I think it could be Luke Fickell. You could go USC. That's the other option here, and I'm curious if that's the direction that you're going to go in. But I really like the idea of what Wisconsin brings to the table. And if we were just to throw in there an outlook on their schedule, the toughest opponents that they play are USC. And then most of the rest of their stretch is mid-level Big Ten opponents. They do have to face off against Penn State and Oregon. And if you split both those games and you beat USC, there's a chance that they could be in the Big Ten championship game. Like, that is not off the radar because they were given a relatively winnable Big Ten conference schedule. They do play Alabama at the beginning of the year, which is going to be tough Power 5 or Power 4 opener for an opponent. But that, man, it is doable for them.
I broke down Wisconsin. I like because Fickell has made some magic before with Cincinnati. I like that. I can make a correlation. I can track the progress meter in my mind and say, okay, he did this here. If I had to make a bet, I can have an easy rationalization why it would make sense. It's plus 8,000. Crazy stretch, crazy reach, but that's kind of the point. My approach here, Joe, I kind of broke down the Big Ten into 3 different tiers. You had the A tier, the B tier, and the rest. The A tier was on.
You didn't want to go C tier?
No, the rest.
You just said
for my pocket of if I'm going to take a long shot bet. The A tier, whose total win totals for the year, everybody was above 9.5.
I'm still dumbfounded by the fact that you just said that.
Can I explain? The A tier is Ohio State, Oregon, Michigan, Penn State. That's the A tier. Yeah, they're near
a little generous to Penn State.
But Penn State is estimated on BetOnline to have over under 10 wins this year. Michigan's at 9.5. So they have to be A tier for this category. B tier, this is fun, Joe. USC, Iowa, Washington, Nebraska, all expected to get 7.5 wins this year. That's their line. I'm not putting anything in this. This is not my tier list.
You created a tier list with somebody else's predetermined information.
Yes.
I'm confused.
Yes.
You said that you made the tier list. Yeah, you made the tier list, but chose not to use your own opinion.
Where's your tier list, jackass? This is. Could you?
I don't have one. This is a very flawed tier list.
You interrupt an explanation every chance.
This is a list. Yeah, I do, when it sucks.
I'm explaining the process.
Don't just say shit. Say something tangible for once.
A tier, we're not betting on them. We already gave out our pick. That would be Ohio State. That's our bet in the A tier. We're not betting anything in the rest tier or the C tier, as Joe wants to call it. B tier, that's where the action is. That's Iowa, USC, Washington, Nebraska. Now, let's eliminate 2 of those. USC and Washington eliminated. You know why? They have to play Michigan. USC has to play Michigan, Penn State, LSU, and Notre Dame. And Notre Dame also just picked up a really good wide receiver recruit. Talon Buckingham? What? Oh, Tyler Buckner.
Oh, shut up. He's going to lead them in receiving yards.
He probably will. Washington this year has to face Michigan, Penn State, and Oregon. We are eliminating those two. That leaves us Iowa and Nebraska. Both teams have to play Ohio State this year. I am picking Nebraska over Iowa. The offensive woes don't get solved. This is my process for my backup bet. I like Matt Rule. I like that he cries every time he's on camera. I like that he cares immensely about his players and his team, and they're plus 5,000. This is where we roll with the backup bet in the Big Ten. It's a bloodbath. This conference is going to be a bloodbath. For futures betting, are you kidding? I'm taking them. You take
to reiterate again, it's fine to pick a random team because it's the team in the B tier, as you've classified.
Yeah, the B tier
is probably not going to win the conference.
Probably
so
not.
We're kind of we're closing our eyes and we're throwing a dart and we're kind of hoping you don't hit your buddy in the side of the head with it. You're kind of hoping that you land the bullseye. More likely going to hit your buddy in the side of the head. Nebraska's not. There has to be at least there has to be. Don't make fun of my Italian mannerisms. Me moving my hands around. Okay, calm your ass down. Wisconsin and Iowa, you can at least make the argument. There's a path. Okay, there's a path for something like that to happen. You're implying that a true freshman quarterback or whoever starts a quarterback for Nebraska is going to put them in a position that they win the conference. Win the Big Ten over Oregon, Michigan, Ohio State, your A tier that you just classified.
That's why they're the A tier. They only have to play Ohio State.
I don't know why you wouldn't have picked USC or Iowa.
Because USC has to play Michigan, Penn State, LSU, and Notre Dame. That's 3 losses. However you chop it, that's 3 losses. Same for Washington.
Iowa got to the Big Ten championship last year, and I know that was before they removed divisions. Before they removed divisions.
How goddamn dare you bring up that travesty last year? Don't even.
There's probably some other white dude who's going to show up and be a superstar to replace Cooper DeJean, and that's going to lead them to the.
Is he playing quarterback for him? Then it's not.
Okay, McNamara is supposed to be healthy. R.I.P. Deacon Hill, by the way.
Just
R.I.P. to Deacon Hill. Any final thoughts? I'm sorry.
I liked my pick, and I wasn't just closing my eyes and throwing a dart at the wall. That's not something that I would do. I like my money.
Hell of a closing thought. I liked my pick. That's a new one.
I just don't know why you're going to I gave you rationale. I accepted yours. Luke, thanks. Wisconsin's not winning, dick.
The college football video game this past weekend, Sean, dropped some gameplay. The game comes out July 16th is when it's going to be playable if you pre-order it. And we've all been foaming at the mouth like a bunch of wild animals just we just want to see something, just show us something. And they've done a really good job of preventing anything from getting
any leaks.
Yeah, no leaks. They dropped a deep dive, and apparently I think every week leading up or over the next few weeks, we're going to get like a weekly deep dive of information and some of these videos on some of the features. Now, a lot of the things that were talked about were what Dynasty Mode's going to be like. We got to actually kind of physically see how everybody's going to move and how everything looks in-game when balls are thrown. They showed the passing meter. They explained the wear and tear system. There is a lot that was thrown onto the table that is very unique. I would just like to go as far as to say, and the people who were saying that it's a Madden reskin, you guys suck. You're so lame. Of course, most of the animations or some of the animations are going to be same.
Yeah, you thought they were going to reconstruct an entire motion engine from scratch? You have the most complex and innovative motion capture engine for football, and you're not going to use it because it's college? I have different beefs with it, but Madden reskin, what were you expecting, you dummy?
It just means that you didn't look at any of it and you kind of just watched the video. You didn't read any of the stuff. You're just like, oh, this looks like Madden. No shit, it's a football video game produced by the same studio. No shit that it's not. It's literally the same, looks the same goddamn thing. it's very different. A lot of the concepts that were placed out here, I'm not saying it's a perfect game. I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of issues. A lot of the things that were placed in there really, to me, paint the picture that this game is going to be different. And one of the things that also stands out to me, Sean, is the whole concept of home field advantage and in-game atmosphere. That to me is intriguing because I think it's going to be make it really fun when you're playing online Dynasty with your buddies and you have to go on the road to play your friend who's Texas, and you're taking Oklahoma on the road to go play or that's not going to happen. LSU on the road to go play Texas. And, you got a true freshman quarterback in, the rest of your team's really good, or a redshirt freshman quarterback, and you're just trying to keep him composed and to not shit his pants. That's really realistic. And I think that is going to make a really fun, piece to this game.
I'll say that I love the home field advantage because I think in college football, the fans definitely do make an impact. Here's where Madden lost me and I stopped becoming a religious Madden player. And here's where this game might lose me also. I'm still kind of old-brained when it comes to sports video games. I love playing football in a video game format. But here's where I start like, okay, it's not for me anymore. It's the add-on skill game breaker stuff, like Sure Hands or Ball Hawk or whatever it is, or okay, now your quarterback just doesn't miss a throw. That's not how it works. You can't just program. I guess you can. It's a video game, but all those, I was so overstimulated seeing that list of all those skills that different players had and different power ups. It's fucking football, and we got fucking power ups like Fortnite. God damn it! I can't stand this shit. I can't stand it. Pardon my language. All that it's too blue. I understand. Okay. But oh my God, what are we doing? I will old man it up. Just put the teams on the field. Just put them on the field. You can do the hit marker. Oh, he took too many hits to his head and his arm. You can do that. I get it. But now I got a freaking second string safety that put on his track cleats because he got a pick 6. And last week he had 2 catches and he's taking it back to the house on me online. And some 12-year-old's hitting the gritty on me in his basement. I will quit this game if these game breakers, they will break me. They will destroy me and my love for this game.
I get what you're saying. I hate when you're playing a new sports game. Like this is very relevant for 2K, where you're playing and it's like, I have to do this side quest. Like, why do I have to go talk to this guy? And you're just like, what does this mean? What does this ability mean? Like, the most complicated part is understanding how to like build the proper build in 2K, and that's way over my head. Nor do I have the intention or time to like spend
when they do it.
That's not in this game.
They don't want to take the time to do the skill assessment and just leave it be. That was awesome. Year to year, it was great to get the new Madden and see, oh, how did my favorite player improve in Madden? Not week to week updates. Not, oh, your receiver has a shield +2. And now he can take more hits.
That's okay. That's not.
I don't know all the names
game.
of them, but that's just like, I just want the football in the game. That's all I want.
I do like conceptually though that one of the things that's in this where the wear and tear system is good. I think that's going to make a fun element where you can't just run your running back into the ground, or if your offensive line's playing poorly and your quarterback gets hit a couple of times, that you're going to have to take him out.
Rattle.
Or
yeah, sure.
Yeah. Additionally, that apparently if your quarterback's doing really well and he hits 10 passes in a row, he's going to get hot. Like that's realistic. That's tangible to the game. I agree with you again that the whole concept of all these abilities is kind of stupid. I'm glad there's no X factors. I think that was a really dumb piece to this game. I will say though, there is going to be so much toxicity with the wear and tear system in online dynasties with your buddies, because, and I've said this a couple of times, you think I'm not going to try and knock somebody's quarterback out of a game? You think that I'm not going to just... I will deliberately go for the hit stick and miss tackles if I know that it is going to take a player out.
You know what?
I'm absolutely going to do that.
This video game is going to let everybody know how much they care about player safety. And player health. All right. All the legislators, everybody that pretends to do stuff in football player health, you walk into any frat house this summer. All right. You just walk in and see how these people are playing the game. And you will say, oh my God, the fans don't want more roughing the passer calls. They want less. That's what you're going to see. You're going to see excruciating hits, terrible leaving players in the game when they're injured. How coaches, online white knighters getting caught, just trashing their teams. That is going to be an interesting dynamic to see how people view college football after this video game. I feel like it might usher us back into more caveman football, which I enjoy. That's my style. That's my brand. It's just natural in me. But I'm someone that doesn't ignore, the science. We're going to see a revolution.
We're going to find out which of our friends, and this applies to everyone, which of your friend is the biggest piece of shit that you know.
Yeah.
That is going because it's normally, and we did a franchise mode with Jake Fire and a few other guys that we played with, and then a couple friends of friends. Like we were in like a 10-person league, and there were always the complaints of like Jake Fire was really annoying to play against because certain guys spam certain things, and that apparently is not going to be applicable here. Those are the different types of pieces of shit because they just know what works and they know how to game the game. We're going to find out who is able to really remove the human element of the players. Just be like, of course I'm going to dive at every quarterback's knees when I'm going to make a play on them, even if he's thrown the football. I'm going to take, by the way, I am one of these people. I am going to take so many late hit penalties, so many roughing the passer penalties. I will, again, I'm reiterating this. I'm going to try to knock your quarterback and your receivers out of the game. That's directed at you.
That's your choice. You're not. Are we doing a? I hate to.
We got to figure this out. I'm debating buying. I don't know. I'm debating buying a PlayStation. I don't know if I.
Oh well, I mean, what do you're running off a 360 still, right? Your tiny Xbox.
Don't. I was debating if I should buy the one that you have or if I should buy the PS5 Pro. The PS5 Pro is
I like my Xbox Series X.
The big model. Okay. The PS5 Pro is better than the mini fridge.
Well, half of the PS5 PlayStation users are still on the PS4, by the way. So that'll show you that the new console there is what you need.
I saw somebody tweet. I don't know how many people realize that this game is not coming out for PS4. Everyone's gonna have that one buddy in the group chat that's like, "Wait, what do you mean I can't play the game?"
Hey, I'm not seeing it. Did this happen with any? Bro, hey, Brendan, we told you this was going to happen. Not South Dakota Brendan, of course, but everyone's got a buddy Brendan that, is never really up to date.
Last thing on this, I don't know if you saw this part. So they added in this ability where you can quick swipe to different defenders on the field.
I like that.
By hitting the right stick. I don't. I refuse, and a big emphasis here. I refuse to play online with anybody knowing this. And I tweeted this. Some goober who plays Fortnite that doesn't know how to play football, doesn't know anything about scheme or anything, is going to figure out how he can line certain guys up in certain positions on the field and then swipe over to somebody else when you throw the football.
Yeah.
He's going to be, you're just going to hear
it against Fortnite builders.
In the in-game chat, it's just going to be like, just a bunch of clicking and you're like, what's going on? What's going on? He's just building a shell that's you can't move the ball against. Some 11-year-old is going to do that, and then, like you said, is going to hit a gritty on you when he's running that thing back for a touchdown.
Here's why I know you don't like this is because I've never, ever in my life, and I've seen some animals. I've lived with them, just hung out at their houses. There's nobody that treats a video game controller with more disrespect than Joe DeLeone. No one that hits the buttons harder, that grits his teeth more, that furrows his brow deep down. And just punches that controller with his thumbs. You're too high pressure.
Right.
You can't switch over quick enough, and you're gonna get dusted by these zoomers that have lightning fast thumbs. You can't catch up.
Well, the problem is I'm going to try to do it, and then I'm going to just do it on a delay. I'm going to end up leaving gaps instead of being able to create some sort of indefensible zone or not indefensible. What's the word I'm looking for?
Impenetrable.
Impenetrable.
How? All right. So the game comes out July 16th, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that time's up just around, when we are going to be living together.
Moved in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's just say
None of my boxes will be unpacked, but I will have my Xbox set up.
all right, so from July 16th to September 1st, let's call it. How many controllers are broken for Joe DeLeone?
I hope only one. I'm hoping the goal is one.
You're hoping one? I've only broken one in my life. Only one ever.
Don't
it
act
felt
all
really
high and
good.
mighty. Don't
It
act
felt
like,
really
don't
good,
act high
Joe.
and mighty.
I'm telling you that I'm not acting high and
Yeah,
mighty.
why do you think I keep doing it?
Because you don't have control over yourself. I did it one time because I needed it. That is once.
My brother told me apparently one of the our Amazon account is tied to his email.
Mm-hmm.
I found out apparently one of the companies I keep reordering remotes from really likes me and keeps sending him emails. Some Chinese company keeps emailing with just really broken English, asking for feedback because I keep ordering remotes from them.
We keep on making them stronger for you, Joe. Please let us know if they're working. And you keep on sending them back shards of plastic.
I don't think that they know what's happening to them. I think that they just think I really like the remotes and I keep buying them. Yeah.
If Bin Laden was hunkered down in an Xbox 360 controller, I think you could have been on that Black Ops team to get him out. I'm certain you could have cracked him out of there. You have a knack for destroying these things. And you push them to their limits too. It's not just one big slam. You will pound them and then you will throw
it's a throw, pick up, throw again. Yeah, it's like it is a continuous. Yeah, we
that's a problem with renting, right? Like just scuffing wood, hitting walls.
Yeah, there's a couple marks like
great.
Across the apartment from when I've thrown it and they've bounced.
Dartboard. That is going to be our fix up.
Yeah.
Let me throw the dart. It's just it's 2 feet low with a board and it's just in the wall. That's great. Thanks.
We'll have 50 dartboards.
Thanks for bringing her over. That's great. Let's get the spackle out again.
All right. Your thoughts on the Dr. Pepper thing that you wanted to bring up?
Oh yeah. I just was scrolling through my social media today and I saw this, I guess, excerpt from an article. Dr. Pepper ties Pepsi as America's number 2 soda, Coca-Cola obviously being number 1. Can't even challenge that. Yeah. Hey, Joe, and all the Dr. Pepper, impressionists and replicators, Abby, you shove it. The real DP is making a push, and they're going to be number 2. Pepsi can go screw. I've been team Dr. Pepper, and this Mr. Pibb apologist is still talking trash on it.
Don't act like I'm not a Dr. Pepper fan, okay? For you saying this, I am a Dr. Pepper fan, first and foremost. But I would argue Mr. Pibb falls into the umbrella of Dr. Pepper earning this victory, okay?
No, because it says umbrella.
Yeah,
unfortunately, it does. Mr. Pibb isn't on the bench with the team winning this championship or coming up just, he wasn't on the bench. Mr. Pibb was in the back. He's not getting a ring. He's not on the production credits after the movie ends. All right. That's the 23 individual flavors concocted into Dr. Pepper itself. Mr. Pibb sitting in the back, making sure that the lights don't go off.
Where was
it went Coke 1, Dr. Pepper 2, Pepsi 3, Sprite 4, Diet Coke 5. I'm surprised Diet Coke wasn't number 2. Everyone.
Well, my question my question was where does Mr. K rank on there? That's another one of my favorites.
Mr. K?
It's just the the knockoff store brand version of Dr. Pepper.
No.
You've never had Mr. K?
I've never even heard of Mr. K.
I mean, it's just like the Kroger version of Dr. Pepper. I'm mostly making a joke.
So you have Dr. Pepper, Mr. Pibb, and then Mr. K?
Sure.
You're buying third tier soda?
I'm not buying it. I just happened to notice that occurred. That's a thing. All right, at Joe DeLeone.
Just admit that you're a Dr. Pepper guy, man. Just full and full.
I am. I've never said that I wasn't.
Then you have to abandon Mr. Pibb. Okay, you can't just be on both.
If I'm a real Dr. Pepper supporter and I'm in a situation where there's no Dr. Pepper, I'm gonna get Mr. Pibb. Are you saying that you have to plant your flag? Is that what you're trying to say?
Marlboro smokers don't say, "Oh, I'll just get a Parliament now." They will go to another store and get Marlboros. All right? That's how it should be treated. You know nothing about brand
soda.
loyalty. All right?
Shut up. Shut up. At Joe DeLeone at Sanderson Radio, at Hack City Pod on Twitter. Thanks for tuning in. Hit that like button, drop a comment, and then leave us a 5-star review on audio. We'll talk to you folks later. Enjoy the rest of your week.